Hey, welcome to another Ty Denver Mentorship Minute. This is Jeff Shell with Gerry Hogue. Jerry, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you're doing, and then we'll talk about some of your life lessons. Go ahead.
Sure, Jeff. Thanks for the invite. My name's Gerry Hogue. I'm the president and CEO and one of the founders of a company called VCuRe. We're in the cancer space, so we've built an artificial intelligence engine that helps world-class oncologists figure out what to do with genomic-based treatments, given all the sequencing in the human genome, so we can start to tailor treatments that work for individual patients. We're about, it's my fifth startup, so I've got a little bit of experience in this and lots of arrows in the back to kind of pass on, and hopefully other entrepreneurs don't make some of the same mistakes that we've made. We've made lots of them in our day, but we've done some good things too. We're in our 4.5 years, I guess, just brought the business to market. So we're into that period where we're, climbing the revenue hill and getting over to cash flow and break even and all those kind of cool things. So, given all the information around COVID and what it's done to businesses in the last kind of 60 to 90 days, I'd like to just share our experience that we've had and what we've done in hopes that maybe some other folks might benefit from that. So really 4 key pillars that we looked at when this started to hit, and we realized that, a lot of our prospects and clients were going to fall on hard times. And kind of 4 key areas was number 1 was our employees. So I'll talk about that in a bit. Number 2 was how do we help our clients and our prospects in kind of non-conventional, non-business ways. Number 3, it's time to kind of revisit our strategy. Are there some pivots we should do? Those types of things. And I'll talk a little bit about that. And then the most important thing in the startup was cash. So I'll kind of end on that. So with respect to employees, the first thing we did, and this dates back to lots of times when you get into cash crunches and what do you do? Do you tell your employees and all that kind of thing? And we learned long time ago many times that you just got to be really honest with all your employees. So what we did is when we saw this coming, we started educating our employees not only about what might happen in terms of having to tighten the belt in the company, but also educating them and their families. We're in the medical field. We've got access to really good professionals. So how to keep them and their families safe, and way ahead of people being sent home from work. We said, if you guys want to work remotely, whatever you're comfortable with. And so we installed video conferencing and all those kind of things that everybody else has done. But we really educated them, told them where we were, and we told them that we had no plans to lay people off, and we haven't. And hopefully this thing is over in a reasonable amount of time and we never have to get to that. So we took it as an opportunity to be really truthful with people and to build extra loyalty to the company. And to be honest with you, we challenged them with finding different ways to keep the ship moving and find different ways to do things for customers. And they for the most part have really responded. So I'd tell you that our productivity, at least from the engineering side, because we build a lot of software, has likely gone up because people have really embraced that. They've embraced the fact that we told them the truth. We embraced the fact that we were going to be loyal to them, and if anything changed, they'd be the first ones to know because they had families and things to take care of. So it's come back to us in a big way. So then we challenged them with helping clients and prospects in non-conventional ways. And so one of our employees, you guys will have noticed that there's lots of PPEs, personal protection equipment, lack of masks and all that kind of stuff. And we're not in that business, but we got contacts all around the world. And so we started sourcing this stuff and putting people together for free, never made a dime on it. And I think as of last week, we've been responsible for bringing 25 million masks back into the United States and Canada to clients that were 4 or 5 days away from having their frontline workers without them. And one of them was our client. And what did our client do? Our client phoned 20 of their friends in other businesses, and now they've all become prospects of ours because we kind of did something that we didn't have to do and went above and beyond. And so now we've likely got more opportunities in our funnel, albeit the funnel's been pushed out, but we've got an unbelievable marketing response to just doing what was right and doing something that we didn't have to do. So if you think outside the box and think of things that you can do for customers and prospects, it comes back and kind of pays dividends. With respect to business strategy, our business is really supporting doctors, nurses, physician assistants in a clinic where, sick cancer patients come, they get chemotherapy, they get radiation therapy, they get surgical interventions. And we watched early physician visits went down 80%, like in a week. Chemotherapy visits went down 60%. So people aren't getting the therapy that they need and those types of things because they're scared of COVID. And they're weighing, is the cancer going to kill me? Is COVID going to kill me? So we know that come fall, when this is over, we're going to have just a real swamp of extra patients that these physicians are going to have to deal with. So we started to look at it and said, this is nuts. Why can't a physician take care of a patient? Why do they always have to come to the clinic? So we did a real quick pivot, and we've integrated video conferencing into our platform so that physician can connect via our mobile app with the patient and have a consult and actually now bill that and collect for it. So we're seeing a whole shift in that marketplace, and it's not going to go back. It might slip back a little bit, but we looked at 2 or 3 of those types of things. And then the other thing that we did is we said, what's positive about a client can't see us or somebody that we want to talk to is home ridden. And we do a lot of work out the back end with pharmaceutical companies, and most of those executives are always on the road. They're never at home. They're never in the office. They're really hard to get. You got to go to a trade show to see them, and then you got to see them for 10 minutes. But they're all at home now, and their life's changed. They've got 50% of their time back because they're not traveling. And so we started to look at how can we connect with those people from their home? Can we get time with them? And so we're getting more time with the people that we couldn't get to before because of COVID. And that never would have happened if we didn't think about what the positives were in terms of what we needed to be able to do. So we made some common sense changes permanent. We did a quick pivot. We re-looked at strategy, we looked at priorities in the short term and long term. And then we got the whole group of our team in behind it. And we said, okay, we're changing. These are the things that we're going to do to get through this. And we're going to come out the other side all stronger. So then, you get to the most important thing, which is cash, right? And if I gave an entrepreneur one piece of advice when they go get their accountant or their chief financial officer, and they might come out, they might have a really good resume, and they come out of a big business, and they used to run a division for General Electric. Those guys are used to doing quarterly cash flows. Well, we do daily cash flows, and we project out 6 months. And our finance people update that every day. So, and the reason for that is, the quarter numbers look cool because your receivable comes in. It might be 30 days late, but it comes in and it's there in time for the quarter. Well, in a business and a startup, if your receivable comes in from a customer 3 days late, you miss payroll. So you need to be ahead of those types of things. And then what we did is we got rid of all the external non-essentials. We said what matters most is our core people that are the fabric of our business. Outside stuff can wait. And then we got proactive in calling people that we normally would buy $100 of stuff with. And we said, you know what? We're cutting back. In the next 90 days, you can only expect 50 from us. And it's interesting when you do that with your suppliers, how they respect you. They can plan. They know what's coming down the pipe. And when we call and get something, guess who gets to the top of the list? It's us, right? Even though we're buying less, we were honest with our suppliers and told them where we were at, and told them that we would give them continuous communication, and we've done that. So we've set those expectations. We've communicated them. Of course, we've got contingencies put in place. And then the last thing we did is we really prioritized. We looked at our assets, and in our business, our assets, our intellectual property, our software platforms. So we actually scaled up engineering resources around that to get ahead in the marketplace and to protect those assets and continue to make them grow and not let them deteriorate. Because we know when we come through the other side, there'll be some weaker people, and there'll be some stronger people, and we want it to be on the stronger side. But we pay attention to cash. You know, you're not buying the extra dinner because you're not entertaining clients. So those types of things go away, and you can really start to focus your resources on what's really important to get through the storm and get out the other side. So those are the kind of 4 things that we did, and we're actually pretty bullish on it. Another practical thing that we started is we used to entertain a lot. So we're calling our prospects and calling our clients, and we're booking. In fact, this afternoon I've got a quote virtual wine and cheese with a customer, and they're at home, and we're just going to have a glass of wine, 4 or 5 of us, and talk about personal stuff, no business. And we're doing that more and more and more with our clients and our prospects, and we're kind of humanizing this. They look at it as somebody cares enough to spend some social time with me. I've been cooped up in my house, and the returns we're getting on that are what you would expect. But people kind of, how am I gonna socialize with people, because we're face-to-face folks, and you know, people learn to like us, we learn to like our customers, and so we've just refused to not have that social interaction. And you know, every 2 weeks we're having a beer bash online with our staff, and you know, they're all showing us their pets, and you know, we have little pools on what drink they're going to bring to the party on Friday afternoon, and having some fun. And then I always hit delete when they've had too many drinks. It's all good. So that's what we've been doing. We've been having fun with it.
Well, it is fascinating to hear how you guys have handled it, and congratulations on your response. What would be a resource or a few resources that you would suggest business leaders and entrepreneurs to look to if they're dealing with relevant challenges?
Well, you know, I think, you know, the program that you guys have got established is really good. You know, I'm long in the tooth on this stuff. And so I started my first startup, I guess I would have been 32. And I was a partner at Price Waterhouse, and I left there and started this business. And what I found is, you know, I latched on to some folks that have been through tough times. Get a mentor. You guys can facilitate that. And what I find is that people that have been through the ringer a few times, they got a kind of a soft spot in their heart for letting the next person in line not have to learn the hard way, right? Whether that's, how do I deal? I got a board of directors, a VC just came on board, and now I got 2 directors, and they ask me all these questions, and what do? I spend all my time preparing for board meetings, and you know, people that have been through that, if you latch onto them, they got practical experience and practical advice for getting through those situations. But you also have to be coachable, like a hockey player. Like, I'd rather have somebody that's not as skilled but's coachable than somebody that's really skilled and's not coachable. So you have to find the right fit, somebody that's prepared to help, somebody that's just prepared to listen to you, not necessarily tell you what to do, but give you things to think about. And usually you solve your own problems if you got the right sounding board. So, you know, and I've still got a couple mentors, and they're long since retired, and I call them and I talk about things, and I talk myself into what they would talk me into just by getting it off my chest. So, you know, latching on early to right mentorship programs. Your program's really good, where you can come together and talk to other CEOs. You know, LinkedIn is a good resource if you go and spend a little bit of time and say, you know, who would I really like to connect with? I bet you I've had, since COVID hit, I bet you I've had 100 people approach me, and the way they do it is whether or not you accept the request, right? But if they're actually sincere and they say, I got laid off, I'm going through this career transition, I used to do this, I'd really like to pick your brain on what you've gone through, because I'm sure you've gone through things. And you say yes to it, and you find time for them, and even if it's 10-15 minutes, and that network of professionals, however you want to hook it up, it's invaluable. I mean, I'm 62, and I still call a couple of guys, and I've got a couple mentors that are younger than me. You know, I've got mentors now that I mentored when I was at Price Waterhouse, and they're 6-7 years behind me, and they're wildly successful and run big businesses, and they got different experience than I do. And I call them, they're my friends, and ask them questions that I'm not too proud to take advice, right? So anyway, there's strong networks out there use them, and I would suggest that people make use of the resource that you guys offer. It's awesome.
Well, thanks, Gerry, and thank you for your time. Fascinating discussion today. If you or any of your friends would like to access the mentorship resources that TIE offers, please visit our website at tiedenver.org. And thanks for watching.
Will do. Thanks. Great to talk to you, Jeff. Have a great day.
Mentorship Minutes are just one way TIE Denver fosters Colorado entrepreneurship. We're part of a global network of 60 chapters with over 15,000 members. Our goal is to be the leading mentorship organization, providing connections, capability, and capital for Colorado entrepreneurs.